Hello? We building a pyramid? Alright, so we're making the gables. So I already made the one on Wednesday. Today's Friday after Thanksgiving. So that one there is meant to go here, where all that rebar is sticking up. So now we gotta make the one for the opposing wall, which isn't going to be just as long because it's going to be cut off on the left side there. I'll show you more about that. But so yeah, I'm going to show you the process of making the second one. The first step is to figure out how long it is. Over there was 22 feet, or it was also 33 webs, since the webs are 8 inches on center. I ended up running them 35 webs long, so then it would be just wide enough for us to feel good about making that diagonal cut on them, because right now it's just a pyramid. Here it's only 29 because you get to here, which is about 18 feet and 4 inches, and it's supposed to keep on going, but obviously the wall turns away, so we're just going to cut it here. This is going to go straight up for 2 feet and 8 inches, but I'm just going to run it as 2 forms tall, which is 18 inches a piece, and then we'll make the diagonal cut when it's all up here, or when we're ready for it. So yeah, 29 webs wide. I'm going to run it 31 just so we have some spare. So then that is 2 full forms plus a 7 web form. So the first thing that I do is I use these horizontal clips to join these together on the top and the bottom on both sides at each joint. So that comes out to 8 clips. And usually with ICF forms, you want to just go ahead and get 2 courses just built together to sturdy it up. I just like to do it this way instead, so then I'm not trying to reach through and get these clips on later. So let's just put these on. Now we got a solid base. I can't tell if you can see that because the sun's in my eyes. The next part is to mark out how wide to make the second course, which means that we need our rise over run, which in our case is 12-12. The forms are 18 inches tall, so that means that our rise over run is 18-18. And if you see here, each one of these increments is 2 inches. So I can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's 18 inches. Because we already came up the 18 inches tall because of the form. So then 9 increments is 2 inches each, which is 18 inches. So I do that on this side, and then on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there we go. So I will start our form on the second course right here, going that way. And then however many full forms that ends up, I might have to make a cut at the end. And then it'll be the second course. So side note, I laid out my first full form for the second course, and going based off our mark, it's only 1 nub from the web. So I went ahead and cut this because it normally comes with 2 nubs. So I just cut 1 off, and we're gonna knock this in and then continue building until we meet that other mark. Okay, so that second form is in. So now we can see what our remainder is. That's 3 webs plus 1 nub at the end. So let's cut that out. All right, so I got the second course in. Can you guess what happens now? That's right, I'm gonna put in the clips. All right, clips are in. So now I gotta mark out where the third course is going to be starting, which falls right here. But for right now, I'm not gonna cut that line. I'm just gonna cut just wide of it. So then when we come back to do the diagonal cut, we're gonna have to cut that anyways. So might as well just save a couple seconds right now and do that later. So I marked that side. And it's gonna be the same thing over here. So the third course is in, so I'm going to clip it and then mark for the fourth course and then put that on. All right, so the fourth course is in, which means that we are halfway to the top, but obviously each course has less work. But there's one problem. Can you tell what the problem is? This thing isn't very sturdy. So let's see what we did over here. Yeah, we added a bunch of supports in, just like we did for the pool and for the office. So obviously these don't go up all the way. I just used whatever wood was easily available. But we're going to do the same thing for this one. More work. Okay, so a lot of shenanigans later, and this is what it looks like now. So I remembered that this side needs to start off just going straight up and then take the angle. So that's roughly what it's going to look like. You can see just under that steel beam there, that's where it ends. So the gable won't be able to complete that triangle on the left side, so that's why it needs to be going straight up for a little bit. And so getting back on track about the supports that I'm going to be putting in, there's a lot of gibberish now because of me trying to figure that out. But the squares are where I'm going to be placing the zonts. So I'll move the time lapse on this side and then put those on. All right, so the zonts are on and the horizontal pieces are laid in there. You'll notice that they don't spread the full width of the forms, but for now that's actually what I want, because we'll have to come back and make these cuts. So if the wood's going all the way out, then we would have to take it out just to make the cuts because they would be in the way. So for now, they're just not spanning all the way. I'm going to add in the vertical posts and then screw them all down, as well as add some zuckles. So then finally this thing will stop, you know, trying to wave in the wind. And I can build up the last 4 courses. I went ahead and added some straps here just because when I was trying to fix this side, I ended up with some common seams. So at some point we'll go back and foam those and it'll be nice and sturdy. All right, so the supports are all in. Down on that side is very sturdy. Over here's got a little bit of a wobble, but that's manageable. This is all just temporary while we're building it on the ground. Obviously the zuckles will come off when we're putting it into place because they won't have anything to hold on to up there. This is very jank, but just prevents the whole thing from going that way because that crossbar can't move past that other kickback from the plumb wall bracing. So it works for me. So now I'm going to finish out the remaining courses to completion. It's all done. So now we just got to mark all the diagonal cuts that we need to make on this side, and then this side, and then this side, and then the other side. And then we make those giant cuts, which we're going to use the smaller circular saw that I think is a 4-inch blade on it. So it's not going to go all the way through because our circular saw with a 6-inch blade doesn't either. So we're going to make that first cut with the tiny saw and then come back with a Sawzall. And then that'll be our perfect gable. And then we need to put the pre-buck onto it, and then we need to make holes in the pre-buck, and then I need to make a support grid on the front sides as well for both of these. I need to add all the horizontal rebar because if I add it right now and then we go to make our cuts, it's all going to be too long. So I'll need to add that after, but before we do the pre-buck, of course. Of course, we got to put these up on top of the walls too. So we'll have to run some zonts down on the top of the walls, so then when we eventually replace all this wood so that it's the proper size, then we'll just scoot them down and it'll be nice and strong. I moved over to cutting some of the forms that we need because we're still bringing some of the curved areas up. This is the breakfast area. It will be going up 2 more courses. So that'll be 6 full forms and then 2 smaller pieces. And then also the staircase will be going up another full level. So that'll be roughly 8 courses or 16 pieces. So I've got all the forms for that right here. So I think I'll just show me cutting 2 or 3 of these and then that'll be it. Got all the forms cut. So whenever we're ready to move on to the breakfast nook to finish out that height, then we're ready for it.
this is going to be interesting. We're going to set the pyramid, well, it's really a triangle. We're going to set it up here, and yeah, get a couple more measurements and everything, and just see how we feel about it. Do some marks, and then bring it down, cut it, and get it all the rest of the way ready, and then we're going to set it in place for good. And then we got to do the same thing on the other side, and then once we do that, all that'll be left is the stairwell that we got to build up. But Josh has already cut them. I just got to snap them in place and strap as I go, and keep building more and more scaffolding, so that's going to be fun too. That's pretty awesome. Copy. What do you think?
Pretty crazy. Is this the truck you just bought?
Copy. What do you think? All right.